Welcome to another Optimal Play First Impressions review of the newest Arkham Horror the Card Game Pack, The Point of No Return. I think it's just Point of No Return. Who knows anymore? I'm Brandon.
I'm Steven.
Steven, you're just back from a trip to the motherland.
Yeah, I just visited Fantasy Flight for Game of Thrones Worlds. I'm wearing the shirt, and it was a lot of fun. And I even played a little Arkham with Ghostbird, if you know from Discord, at Joe Sensors, which is like the closest bar to Fantasy Flight.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
They have great pretzel bites, and they'll even like stream games sometimes, though they do not stream our Arkham game.
They stream the games being played in the bar?
Yes, we did a year ago. We did the Shots for Plots World Championship of Game of Thrones, where you do a shot every turn, and we put it on the screen. Like, we were playing it at the bar, but then it was also on the screen, so you could watch it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry I missed it. And you returned champion?
Yes, I am the best 3-3 player in all of Game of Thrones.
All right, I'll buy that. Well, before we go past the point of no return, we should think back on last pack. Anything that you've had a chance to play or think more about?
Yeah, so I actually have not used it yet, but Safeguard is way better than we thought.
Yeah.
A couple things we missed in the review that people, helpfully pointed out. One is that it lets you do like unlimited movement to each, like if your Seeker is going to go 3 or 4 spaces using Pathfinder, or your Rogue is going to go 4 spaces with Leo or something, like your Guardian could follow them the entire time.
Right, yeah. And then the thing that I know missed my awareness was that if you simultaneously enter a location with this, which is not something that generally happens,
Yeah.
but if you use it to simultaneously enter, you can choose who the enemy engages.
Yeah, that's
if it's prey text allows it.
That is crazy powerful.
Yeah, so something I'm really excited to play too. I also haven't had a shot yet. Haven't played anyone that can take I think it was level 2 Guardian lately.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lie. I've played some Joe, but I did not put Safeguard in it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Joe, though, I did try Practice Makes Perfect.
Oh, yeah?
Which is the event that, the Seeker event that searches your deck for a practiced trait skill, adds it, or commits it to the test that you're in the middle of when you play it, and puts it in your hand if you succeed to play again later. I was a little bit we were a little confused by the card. Who the hell knows off the top of their head what practiced skills there
People
are?
that are practiced at podcasting?
Fair point. Apparently we are not. But I did put it in my Joe deck, and it was pretty great. So it turns out that in Seeker, really only deduction is practiced. Like, actually, I think Practice Makes Perfect needs to be paired with an off class, unless you think it's good enough to just take for deduction purposes. But Vicious Blow was also practiced, so in Joe I had just those 4 cards that made Practice Makes Perfect really worth playing, and they both, in addition to adding icons, they doubled the effects, or increased the effects of what you were doing, which felt really strong when you can do that twice. I've looked at the other practiced cards. Mystic has a couple, if you feel like it's good enough to find Prophesy or Enraptured. I'm not really sold on that. Rogue's Momentum is practiced, so I could definitely see putting this in Mandy with a Rogue Splash to find that, because I really love Momentum. And then weirdly, 2 of the 4 original neutral skill cards, I think it's Overpower and Perception, are practice traded. Not the other 2, but 2 of them are. So you might be able to fill out a deck to make it worth playing this card with those. It's a little bit of a gamble, because you might just search the top 9 cards of your deck and find nothing, or you might lose anyway, and then it doesn't feel great. But my playstyle is the type I like taking risks. I like rolling the dice and seeing what happens, so it's a really big win for me, and a card that I'll be playing a lot more of.
Yeah, so actually at Joe Sensors, turn 1, we draw like a 2 strength enemy in Excelsior. And Ghostbird is playing Roland. He says like, oh yeah, I got it. So he tosses in a Vicious Blow, which is already enough for this 2 HP enemy. And then he's like, well, let's just throw in a Practice Makes Perfect, like just so that I have another skill card for the next challenge, or the next attack. And so of course he draws the auto fail.
Right.
So and after finding the vicious blow, so now there's no more vicious blows in the deck because he tossed in one and then he found the second.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a weapon, so that worked out great. But just don't draw autofails.
That is definitely the downside. Is if you put or if you draw the auto fail, it is burning the event and the skill card.
Yeah, you've made your deck worse.
Yeah. But you know what? It's a chance I'll take because the upside when it delivers is so good. All right, this is the 4th pack of the cycle, Point of No Return. It's an exciting time because it's when we kind of pivot to mostly leveled up cards and maybe some of the higher level. I'm expecting some level 2, 3, 4 stuff. Should we take a look?
Yeah.
You want to start us off?
All right. It's a Guardian card, Heroic Rescue, 0 cost, 2 XP events, Will, Fist, and Agility icons, Spirit and Tactic, Fat, and it's someone using a shotgun on like a big snaky monster, standing over what looks like a dead person. So I feel like she's not actually rescuing him. He looks pretty dead, and it looks like she's about to be dead because there's a monster coming in from the behind. But cool art. Fast, play when a non-elite enemy would attack another investigator at your location or a connecting location. Move to the location if you are not already there. Engage that enemy and resolve its attack against you instead, then deal it 1 damage.
So, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but did you not realize that this is a leveled up version of a card we already have?
I did not, no. I mean, it sounds like vaguely familiar.
Yeah,
but like
Heroic Rescue is a thing. I think that the difference is, oh man, I don't remember if the original one is 0 cost. It definitely, what is new on here for sure is moving to that location.
Yeah.
And it's from your location or, it's when the attack is at your location or a connecting location now, and you move there. I believe that was not the case before. I do not remember whether the 1 damage rider that's on here was on there, but I'm sure we'll have both on the screen right now. And you can, I spent hours last night scanning cards so that we can do this video the way we want to. So you'll be able to see, I don't think it was there. And I think this card looks really good.
Yeah, so let me think. So you could use it almost as like a free move. And
Guardians are really getting the mobility lately.
Yeah,
Safeguard now
and it's making it like less complicated figuring out like order of operations. Like it doesn't always have to be like a Guardian going first to like engage enemies.
Yeah.
So you could, for example, if for some reason you want your Seeker to go first, maybe they need to spend some clues to open up some doors or something. They could go first, just take an attack of opportunity, doing whatever they were going to do. Just investigate, take an attack of opportunity. At that point, the Guardian then engages the enemy.
Yeah.
And now the Seeker can take the rest of their turn.
True. And the Seeker, the Guardian took the attack, not the Seeker, and came away engaged, so saved potentially an action.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah.
Also, it is a spirit, so Calvin can take this.
He likes getting hit.
Yeah. So.
And Tommy kind of does too, because it's what converts his assets into resources.
And Mark, So yeah, definitely some characters that could use this.
Oh man, speaking of Mark, I'm backtracking a little bit. Mark and Practice Makes Perfect. It is a tactic. Wait, tactic? What can Mark take?
Tactics. Yeah.
Tactics. Yeah. Practice Makes Perfect. Mark can take it and his signature skill card.
Oh.
Home front on the home front.
Yeah.
The home front, I think.
The home front.
It's practiced.
Wow.
So
that seems really good.
Crazy good with him. Yeah. And yeah, this is a tactic too, which has nothing to do with that because it's Guardian. All right, yeah, looks fine. I'd give it a shot if I really want to be tanky. The next Guardian card is another leveled up version of a card we already have.
I remember the base version of this.
Yeah, you remember Leadership? I'm glad to hear it.
Can't say I've played it much, but at least I remember it.
It is a practiced skill that with a wild icon and says, while leadership is committed to a skill test being performed by another investigator, leadership gains will and wild.
I think that's the same so far.
I think so far it's the same, yeah. If this test is successful, gain 2 resources. If leadership is committed to a skill test being performed by another investigator, that investigator also gains 2 resources. Oh, this card seems great.
Yeah, like this with Practice Makes Perfect, it gets a total of 8 resources. Use it twice.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You run practice makes perfect. Take this. It's going to generate 8.
Although, can you use practice makes perfect on tests that are by other people? That might not be possible.
Practice makes perfect. Oof. I don't remember for sure. But even so, you'd get 6 resources then, because you can use it on yourself.
Yeah, for
2.
And then them for 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This seems better. I mean, it is level 2, but I'm comparing it to emergency cash, which is great.
Mm.
This seems a lot better than that. Like, it's the same benefit. Emergency cash takes 1 action and gives you 2 more resources than you would normally get. This takes no actions. It gives you 2 more resources than you would usually get. Plus, it gives you icons. Plus, if you put it into someone else's test, it's actually generating 4 resources for the team. It seems substantially better than either of the leveled up emergency caches, and I could see this kind of occupying that quick econ slot in a deck instead.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is emergency cache is awesome on turn 1, whereas this one, like, I mean, you could throw it into like an investigate turn 1 maybe, but you don't always have the option to do that.
It is wild, so it can go into any test, but you're right.
Yeah. I do also like leveled up emergency cache in the stick to the plan decks.
Oh, sure.
That is a tactic.
Right.
Supply.
And then the other card that I want to compare this to is Stand Together, the level 3 Guardian event that costs 0 and gives you and another player 2 cards and 2 resources. I'm not sure that this is as good as that, but it definitely has trade-offs, since obviously that doesn't help you in a test. Yep. It takes an action. This is fast, and this is 1 less experience. So I'm a huge fan of Stand Together, because if you can, I mean, even in the mid game, it's good. It's a little bit of a dead card in the late game, but in the in your opening hand, it's ridiculous. It gives 8 cards and resources, 8 actions worth of stuff to your team. Even in the mid game, it's great. This I like for a lot of the same reasons, and could see. I mean, anytime practice makes perfect is eligible in my deck. This is definitely going in. But I could see putting this in instead of Stand Together and saving that experience point too. Mm-hmm. All right, hey, when we get to Seeker, we are finally delivering on the Dream Diary from a few packs ago.
Yeah, all right. Dream Diary, 2 costs, 3 XP assets, Dreams of an Explorer. It's an item, tome, and charm. You can only include this if you upgraded the Dream Diary untranslated and interpreted your dreams. While you are at a location with at least 4 shroud, Essence of the Dream gains 2 question marks. I think I speculated that Essence of the Dream would be reused by the upgraded version.
Yeah,
on a previous video.
I believe you did. And bravo, you were right. broken clock and all.
And then as a reaction, when your turn begins, search your bonded cards for Essence of the Dream and add it to your hand.
Ooh, from the original Dream Diary, back before it's translated and upgraded, you spend an action to return it to your hand. So this gives you... Essence of the Dream was 2 wild icons already? I wish I didn't know this was in the pack. I would have brought it with me.
Yeah, it's like 1 or 2.
Yeah, maybe it was just a wild icon. So this pumps it up to 3 or 4 if you're at a location with at least 4 shroud. Makes you great for investigating tough locations. It's a little finicky to... Like, the game has never made us... It's a new way of approaching, like, how you want to... tactically approach the game, because you've never been like rewarded in general for staying at high shroud locations, really. Maybe with Crack the Case and stuff, but that's more about getting the clues, whereas this is just about being there. Like when you have Dream Diary, Dreams of an Explorer, you are safer from treacheries while you're at high shroud locations, which is unusual, and it's going to be a really new way of thinking about the game.
Yeah, I mean, probably not, but maybe this could make Connect the Dots playable, where you like get clues from a high shroud and then it helps you with the low shroud.
True,
because the high shroud could actually be easier for you now.
Yeah,
than the low shroud.
It's pretty pricey. I think it was like 4 costs.
Yeah,
which is the main reason that I've tried playing it and I upgraded out of it. Like I didn't find it was accomplishing much, but sure.
Yeah, the cost of it was a big part of why it was bad, but the other part of it was that like, oh, it's helping you with the easy part, which is the low shroud, but it's not helping you with the hard part. But if this is taking care of the hard part, then, you know.
This also seems bonkers for Min, right? Because not only is she all about the skill cards anyway, but she loves sitting in one place. So she just finds the high shroud location and chills out there supporting the team.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So if she's at the high shroud and she uses her signature to commit to another location, it still gets the extra wilds.
Yeah, because your card gained those icons. Yep.
Yeah.
Totally. I'm going to go out on a limb and say there are more versions of this. It looks like one copy of each.
Yep.
No, wait, I'm sorry. We divided that up. I'm very sensitive to how many copies of cards are in the packs in this cycle since it varies so much, but we are just each holding one of the copies, of course. Dream Diary Dreams of a Madman is also a 2-cost asset. It's got a combat instead of an agility icon compared to the last one. Similarly, you have to have translated the Dream Diary to put it in your deck, and then while you're engaged with an enemy, your Essence of the Dream gains 2 wild icons. And when your turn begins, search your bonded cards for Essence of the Dream and add it to your hand. Okay. First thought, this isn't as good.
Yeah.
As a Seeker, you don't want to be engaged with an enemy.
Yeah.
But it is great for evading, right?
Yep.
Despite this having a combat icon on it, kind of implying that, like, this is the fighty one.
Yeah.
I think I would use it to evade most of the time.
It's weird because, so you first thought is Joe, but Joe likes to have his hand slot. Like, Joe doesn't like to play hand slots that aren't either weapons or tools because of his signature. It takes up both slots, and you can only have tools then, and this is not a tool. And then you'd also think, oh, well, Ursula can fight with the bow, but the bow also takes 2 hands. So
yeah,
you could play this in like a bandolier Joe, maybe, so he can hold his signature guns and also this.
That's true. Yeah, actually, that'd be pretty solid. And I'm a fan of bandolier for Joe.
Oh, I guess the other one would be a shriveling daisy.
A shriveling daisy. Oh, just because their hands are free.
Yeah.
Or like, and then all right, and then the wild icons.
Yeah, can be
help with her attacks also. Yeah, good point. And I'm thinking just Ursula, since she's already a high agility. Like all of a sudden she's kind of like Finn, where she can obviously get clues well, but can just be an evading machine.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to do some like solo no vengeance Ursula, but like in general, I think as Ursula, I would rather have the help investigating than evading, just because you're gonna do it more often.
That is true. One other note on this before we move on: they stack. If you have the other one and this one, or just 2 copies of this, you can, in the right situation, have your Essence of the Dream gain 4 wilds. Right? Is that your interpretation here?
Oh, interesting.
I think if you have,
they're non-unique. What other? Yeah, so they don't have the unique symbol.
Right. And so if you have Dreams of an Explorer and Dreams of a Madman, and you're at a 4-shroud location engaged with an enemy, your Essence of the Dreams gets 4 wild icons. Probably the more likely situation is that you get 2 of the same one, and then if you put them into play while you're at a 4-shroud location,
I guess the problem is Essence of the Dream. Is there 1 or 2 copies of that available?
Essence of the Dream? Oh, since it has... No, I'm pretty sure it had 2 copies in the pack and then just 1 copy.
See.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. The Essence of the Dream. So the Dream Diary Untranslated had 2 copies. Essence of the Dream just had 1.
So then you're spending 6 XP and 4 resources to put out 2 cards, and then when your turn begins, they both trigger, but the second one, you can't actually find the Essence of the Dream.
Yeah, so you just get 1 copy, but what it does is it gives 4 wild icons.
I'm just saying, like, is it worth 6 XP, 4 resources?
No, it's not even worth the 2 hand slots.
Yeah, and 2 hand slots, yeah.
I'm not arguing that this is a good idea. I just think it's fun and funny that it works.
All
right. We've got more dreams to go.
All right, so the last one, Dream Diary, Dreams of a Child. It's will and book. While you have at least 8 cards in your hand, Essence of the Dream gains 2 wilds. Interesting. So I think they're really trying to set up this like big hand size Seeker playstyle that should be interesting. Trying to use hand size razors and just like always be at like 8 to 10 cards seems like kind of fun.
Yeah, we're starting to see more support for it was Dream Enhancing Serum, right? That like doesn't count duplicates towards your hand size and is a little bit still kind of confusing as to what that card really wants to do for you, but hey, it's a way to keep a 12-card hand if you want it. Okay, I think that this is probably actually the best of them. I think it's the most consistent, and it's the only one of them that you can walk around the map and keep it turned on, right?
Yeah, you do. If you don't have any of the hand size increasers, then you want to chuck. Oh, I guess so. it's kind of tricky because I think you do have to have 9 cards, and then you chuck the Essence of the Dreams in order to still have 8. So
Oh, that's interesting. You think if it's one of your 8 cards, you play it and it immediately loses the wilds?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, actually, you're probably right.
But you could have had 8, and then you got it as your 9th card at the beginning of your turn, I guess.
Yeah, or drew it with an action, or Mr. Rook or something. Or drew a 9th card rather with Mr. Rook. It wouldn't be your Essence of the Dreams. Okay, so that's the last one. How do we feel about these? Like, how do they stack up to other untranslated, unidentified items from the past?
They're a lot different.
Yeah.
But I mean, skills are pretty good, and they've got like between Min and Grotesque Statue, like there's a lot of ways to make that a pretty powerful play strategy.
Yeah. They're interesting at least. I like the design. I think it's just it's doing a lot of things we haven't seen before, which is very cool. Whether it's any good, I don't know. But I'm definitely going to try it out, and I'm definitely going to use Shrewd Analysis when I do, because that is for winners.
Yeah.
You're not going to pay 6 XP for 2 of these, you're going to pay 3 XP, and then just modify your playstyle accordingly.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like to roll the dice. I'm a big fan of using Shrewd Analysis.
Definitely.
All right, rogue cards. Well, so far we've had 2, not reprints, but 2 upgrades, 3 Dream Diaries. It looks like we're finally on to some new stuff.
Yep.
With Haste, a level 2, 3 cost rogue asset. It is a ritual, limit 1 per investigator. As a reaction, after you perform the same type of action twice in a row, exhaust haste to take another action of that type again. And in parentheses, types include activate, engage, evade, fight, investigate, move, play, resource, and draw. And it takes an arcane slot, which generally, if you're playing this in a rogue, you're probably not that picky about. Huh. How often are you doing the same thing 2 and then 1 a third time? Like, it seems the most useful for moving and for investigating to me.
Also, fighting with Tony, like,
I guess, but even fighting, like, as long as you're using a weapon that's doing 2 or 3 damage, how often are you wanting it 3 times in a turn? Not never.
It
but
lets
not,
you,
but not often.
It does let you save money by like punching twice instead of shooting a bullet.
True. Yeah.
You can fight multiple enemies too. So like even if they all only take 2 fights.
Yep.
If you don't care about engaging in the middle, you can just start bam bam. So, and he'll have a ridiculous number of actions with this, because like, remember, he gets the free one with the bounty. He often has Leo. So like, theoretically, I mean, he could murder like a huge group of enemies in like 1 turn with this, which is pretty funny. You could play sort of like a 4-player game where Tony can potentially do like all your fighting, which is cool.
It's true. And when you commented about the free action, that reminded me that I've played a decent amount of 4-player Finn, and there are definitely times when I evaded 3 enemies in a turn with Finn that this would come in handy for. And actually, I think I like this a lot for Finn, because that comes up at least in higher player counts, and he investigates a lot, so it's really good for that too. Yeah, okay, it's growing on me. Also, the art is... I couldn't tell you for sure whether this is art of Dexter Drake, but it is definitely art of a magician.
Yeah.
And we've got a novella coming up with a promo magician in it. So it makes me wonder, since in the past, as we've gotten towards the end of cycles, we've sometimes seen hints about what's coming next, both mechanically and in the art and stuff. It makes me wonder if Dexter will just be in the next cycle.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Guess we'll find out soon. All right, give us Daredevil.
All right, this is a 2 XP asset with 1 wild. It's Fortune and Practiced. After you commit Daredevil to a skill test, reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal a rogue skill. You can commit to this test. Commit it. Shuffle each other revealed card back into your deck.
You did slightly misspeak. It's a skill card, not an asset.
Oh, yeah.
Just for anyone who's listening to us without looking at the screen, you might want to know. It's practiced.
It is practiced, yeah.
And so...
And it finds you another skill card.
But it's a level 2 rogue card. I don't know. Can anyone take... Well, I guess rogues with slots that can take seeker cards, Dunwich investigators or whatever, could take that in this. This seems like a great match with that because you get another card that you can commit to the test.
Yeah. Well, also, if you have some super high XP rogue skill card, like there's like the 5 XP one that like draws you a bunch of cards, like especially if you don't have a lot of other skill cards, you could just search your deck all the way for it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true. So it's specifically a rogue skill. This is the one that there's one in every pack. This is the one that I'm just looking at. I'm like, why?
Yeah, right? I don't generally associate rogues with really good skill cards.
Yeah, me neither. They don't have that many. Maybe since this has a wild icon on it, this goes with opportunist on that succeed by X deck that has never quite been a thing.
That's true. Yeah, you would get the opportunist back, so that helps you get the chain started.
Yeah, and you would have put it in two icons into whatever.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of wild icons, this it searches for one that you can commit to the test. Okay, I was going to say what happens if it hits a skill that doesn't match. Yeah. And then it shuffles the other revealed card back into your deck. So for the most part, you're not gaining any card advantage or anything. It's really just a wordy card that does like a wild icon plus something.
Yeah.
All right. Seems fine. I have a hard time seeing when I would spend 2 XP on this.
Yeah, I would probably only do it if I had XP skill cards that I was like pretty much guaranteed to get.
Yeah, Momentum is another one that actually I've sang the
You
praises.
love that card.
I've sang the praises of Momentum, and then somehow it didn't occur to me with this. But yeah, if you're leveling up the cards in your rogue skill cards in your rogue deck, start with Momentum, and then consider Daredevil because you grab that, it gives you several wild icons and buffs your next skill. If you pass, I can see that. Yeah. Okay, we got a Mystic card. So when I was dividing the pack between the two of us, I noticed that there's one copy of each of several different variants of this one. So we'll bounce back and forth looking at all these. The first one is Empower Self, subtitled Stamina. It's a 3-cost level 2 Mystic asset. 2 combat icons. It's a ritual. It's Myriad. So that even though they're not identical, I'm guessing that the Myriad applies to the 3 different copies of this. Oh, and it actually says Myriad limit 1 Empower Self stamina per deck, so it is not an option to buy 3 packs of Point of No Return and put 3.
They're missing a business opportunity.
I know, right? Up to 3 Empower Self cards take up a single arcane slot. Anytime a card effect requires you to use willpower instead of combat, you may ignore that aspect of the effect. And then as a fast action, you can exhaust Empower Self to get +2 combat for this test. Want to take a peek at the next one? I'm guessing it's just swapping out the icons?
Yeah, so the next one is just with agility.
Okay. Empower Self Alacrity.
Yeah.
And then Empower Self Acuity. They missed a big chance to have another A word instead of stamina. Have the alliteration. Oh well. Yeah. And Acuity replaces the icons with intellect icons. So the use case for this is for mystics, mostly mystics because it's level 2 mystic, who have skills that are higher than willpower, or at least within 1 of willpower, so that +2 makes it better.
Well, you can also just use the +2 for a regular test. Like you could ignore the top part and just see this as you're paying 3 for a +2 to a stat.
Yeah, good point.
What's weird to me is like, why would you ever want to play all 3 of these? Like, I can't see there being like 3 other stats besides will that you cared about, or even 2 other stats. Like, we know like Marie and Luke sometimes are decent at investigating. Why would they ever take the one that's besides the book one?
I don't know. And I was thinking like maybe I would try these in Diana, but she only probably really wants the combat one.
Yeah.
Like, this seems, for all the multiplayer cards that we've seen lately, this kind of strikes me as like a true solo card. Like, I kind of think the only really time I would want to use this would be when I need to be able to do everything because I'm the only player.
Yeah, but I still feel like in True Solo you don't have time to install all of these, so like
It is an
you're
action
probably
each time.
just gonna use Will to do everything.
That's true. Man, the cost of getting these all into play. 3 cards, 3 actions, 9 resources.
Yeah, like I think
Yeah,
honestly, I think it should say like if you have one of these in play, the other ones are free or something, you know?
yeah. Or each one discounts future ones, or
Like it would be cool if they
Yeah.
kind of like Voltroned up over time.
uh-huh.
As is, I could see some people
Hmm.
using the book one. Daisy can also take the book one, so that can get her intellect ridiculously high for like hard or expert.
Yeah.
But
Weird. It continues to be the myriad cards in the cycle that I mostly just don't get. Like, why is this myriad? A lot of the time the question is why does it exist? That's definitely the case here. Huh.
Safina can take the agility one.
But are you spending 2 XP and then 3 resources
And an
on
arcane slot.
and an arcane slot on one of these?
Get a one-time
I don't
+2.
I don't
Probably
see
not.
it. Yeah. I think that this is not leaving the binder anytime soon.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I said that. I keep my cards in a box.
No one says box fodder.
Yeah.
It's like
That must have been what I was getting at. Yeah. Huh. All right then. Well, all is not lost. All hope is not lost. Rather, the Mystics do have another card in here. What do we got?
I think all is lost in a dream actually, because this
Oh,
is
well played.
Twila Catherine Price, Lost in a Dream, 3 cost, 3 XP asset. She's an ally artist and dreamer. Reaction: after you spend 1 or more charges from a spell, exhaust Twila, place 1 charge on that asset. Whoa! So she's a free asset every turn.
What?
As long as you never go to 0 while she's exhausted. That seems really good.
Yeah. This seems insane. Yeah, are you just 1 Shriveling will last you the whole game, or 1 Rite of Seeking, or
Well, I mean, you only
Right.
get 1 per turn, so sometimes you have to shrivel multiple times. But
good point.
But it certainly makes your shriveling last a lot longer.
Yeah, and then when you replace it, it makes the next Shriveling last longer too. Pretty straightforward. I don't even have that much to say other than this seems great, and buy it for your spell asset focused decks.
Yeah, it's funny. Like they've put these like arcane slot increasers in Mystic, and like most of them are like not that great. But I feel like 2x charisma is like becoming just like a necessity in Mystic.
Yeah.
Like between Arcane Initiate and the busted like reuse event one, Diana, and David Renfield's really good. Like they just have so many good allies now. Pete Sylvester is good in the ones that can take him.
Olivia is the one that draws 3 tokens, picks 2. Like, she's a lot of fun. They have a lot of really exciting choices for allies. And I mean, as the game goes on, that's going to be true of every class someday, right?
Yeah.
We keep getting more and more cards.
Well, except for Seekers, like they don't have any XP allies still, which is weird.
Not a single one?
I don't think so.
I guess not. There should be a leveled up Milan Christopher that is just what the original one was pre-taboo.
Yeah.
Just print the same card with 3 more XP pips on it.
Yeah.
Good to go. I designed you a card for the next pack, Matt. You're welcome. Okay, cool. Parting thought. I'm disappointed that Safina can't take this, right? Because it's a fellow artist.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, even another painter based on.
Well, no, she can take it. She just has to use "You Owe Me One."
Okay, she can take it from someone else's hand. And now I really want to do that. Okay, hey, I was pretty prescient apparently when talking about hope not being lost, because the Survivor event, A Glimmer of Hope, is next. It's a 1-cost level 0 event. I think maybe the first level 0 card of the pack. It's Blessed and a Fortune, and it's a Fortune. It is Fortunate. Myriad, A Glimmer of Hope can only be played from your discard pile. Add all copies of Glimmer of Hope in your discard pile to your hand, including this copy. Whoa. So it's a skill card. It's an event, but it's a skill card.
Yeah.
You commit it for its will icon, and then once you've committed probably at least 2 of them, you start spending a resource and an action to get them both back. Seems good. Seems like a lot of slots in your deck. to spend on like not that big an effect.
Yeah, so you get one big +3 action later on in the game potentially.
Yeah, like once you have all three of your copies, you can be getting +3 and then spend an action and a resource to get it back. Like it's not even with 3 of them, it's not without a pretty significant cost to recover it and use it again.
And I'm not really seeing any synergy with Mateo, who can take Blessed.
Right.
So,
huh?
I don't know.
I'm telling you, it's these myriad cards, man. I don't get them. They don't do it for me. All right, let's retreat to this last one.
All right, Expeditious Retreat is a skill card, 1 XP, agility, max 1 per test. Oh, it's innate and developed. So there's some innate tech in the game.
Oh, yeah.
There's no developed tech, I don't think. While Expeditious Retreat is committed during a basic evade action, it gains 2 agility in the text.
Oh.
If the text is successful by 2 or more, you may automatically evade another enemy at your location.
Okay, so it is the brute force, the keen eye, I think was the investigation one. Now Expeditious Retreat.
This is better, I think, because like those other ones, like you tend to use weapons to fight. You tend to use you at least sometimes use like things like flashlight and fingerprint kit to investigate, but there's not like a tool for evading, so you're almost always doing a basic evade action. So I think this is the best.
I see what you're saying. I was gonna say that this seems like the least appealing to me because evading 2 enemies is like the most niche situation. Like doing some extra damage, finding an extra clue, that is something that you're eager to do a lot more often than evading an extra enemy. But I see what you're saying, where you do a basic evade action a lot and you don't do basic fight and basic investigates all that often. Yeah, you know what? Actually, when you look at it that way, where this is a 3 agility icon skill, as long as you don't need agility for a treachery or something, that can have this pretty big upside of evading a second enemy at your location. Like, I can see it.
I think it has to be 3-player plus, or it's just there's just going to be long stretches of the game where there are not 2 enemies that need to be evaded at your location.
Yeah, I agree. This is I mean, I guess even if you're only evading 1 enemy, like it has trade-offs with manual dexterity and that kind of thing, right?
But it also has more XP, so it's like,
oh yeah, okay.
Are you paying an XP for it in 1 or 2 player? Like,
no, you're not. All right, that's it. What do you think of the pack? This is
yeah. So I think we really liked leadership. That was and Twila. I think those are the ones that we were like, wow, that seems really powerful. And then Dream Diary is just like very different from all the other upgraded ones. So I think won't be surprised if it's very good. But it's definitely different. Haste is cool. And then a lot of weird Mary cards that not totally sold on.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster of a pack. It started out, all the Guardian got was upgrades of existing cards, which are fine cards, but they've never been very exciting. So we'll see where these land. I find that more and more that is the design of these upgrade cards. Like definitely in the return boxes, but even when we get them in packs, it's not that they are like, hey, take that card you already liked and upgrade it. It's like kind of, maybe no one's been playing this one and we want to get that art on the table a little more. So we're gonna put a few more words on the card and try to give it to you again.
The first new art in this was like 6 cards in.
Wow, you're right, because Dream Diary we've seen before.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, they don't have any difference between them on the art, like the multi-class upgrades, do they? No, that's a shame.
Yeah.
You're right. a lot of extremely thrifty use of art in this pack. Okay, yeah. I would not say that it was one of the headliner packs of the cycle, but it's got, if nothing else, Twila and I think Leadership are both extremely, extremely excellent cards that are going to be really powerful. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. I mentioned last time that we had some setbacks in optimal play. I'm We've mostly recovered from those through some spending money and spending time, and should be back to weekly videos pretty much going forward. So we just got to the King's Dilemma last week, got that campaign started, and it's up on our channel, and that is probably my favorite new game experience of the last year, if not years. That game is freaking great. So go check out that playthrough, and we've got more Marvel Champions, Doom the board game, which we thought would be topical with the new video game coming out. A lot coming your way on Optimal Play, so if you haven't, please subscribe. Check out some of our other videos. We'd really appreciate it. With that, any final words?
I don't know. I think I will make a expeditious retreat.
All right, then. So I think we both will. Thank you for watching. Until next time, be optimal.